Does social media stress you out? It doesn't have to. Check out this week's social media tips and tricks with Heather.
Welcome to Social Media Wednesday. I'm Heather, your host, and I am so excited to wrap up what we've been doing for the last 6 months. Absolutely amazing. So, we're going to be doing some changes as we go into the next quarter. So, this is actually our last Social Media Wednesday. What?
But stay tuned because there's more fun coming up.
Yeah, we're not going away. That's part of what we're talking about here. So, we're going to talk today about when was that one? Oh, was that today? That is today. Oh, look, I did a thing. It's hard to remember sometimes when you're working so hard. I did a thing. I did a thing. So we're going to do a guide for social media Wednesdays for all the social media Wednesdays that we've done so far. We're not going anywhere, but the access to us is changing a little bit. Thank you so much for growing with us. So let's talk about where we started. Let's talk about this list. And if I shared correctly, the list will come up for us here. We'll know in a second. Things are moving around. So, content marketing strategy in 2023, this episode I did the very first one. We talked about the top 10 trends for 2023 with social media. This was an excellent episode to start the year with, and so we focused a lot of our growth, especially looking into LinkedIn around this episode and what we were going to do. And then we created a base of terminology. So if you are confused by some of the terms of social media, this is an excellent place to go back to. And Charlie will be dropping the link in the chat and also in the description below for us you can look at this sheet and hopefully everything worked good and you can just click on it. But these were the basic terms of social media so that you're speaking the language when you're working with the different social media platforms. I really like the 5 C's of social media. This was a great episode. Really explaining different, let's see. Can we get the 5 C's to pop up? Let's find out. I really enjoyed looking at my different hairstyles throughout the quarter when doing this episode. So here we got the 5 C's: coordinate, channels, connections, and corrections. So really making sure you have a good handle on social media as a whole, whether you're just a little itty bitty company or you're growing into a big company, because how we're talking on social media is the first response to your customers, and they want to get to know you. And so like if you're doing corrections, like we talk about how, like what you do with that, how to do that. Oh, those fun things. Okay, how did I do that? That was rad. But now I can't see the little things because of the bar. Let me just play a little trick here. Okay. Where did it go? Oh, I see. All right. So then I broke the terminology because it's really it's terminology. Like that is not fun, right, you guys? Terminology is not the super funnest thing. I remember when I was going to college and I had to do medical terminology and just like having all these flashcards with these weird word parts, and you're like, okay, I have flashcards on flashcards on flashcards. So I broke it up because it can be a lot. So the second terminology is more specifically geared towards businesses and what you need to know as a business. We talk a lot about videos. And so that we do them more than one time in different ways through the list of the things that we've covered. So creating short-term form videos and boosting your events. So that specifically is on Facebook. So this is a great episode to give you an overview of how important short form videos are, and how to boost your events in Facebook and some tips on how to do that. What you need to know about your business pages and what you need to make sure you're completing and putting out there for people. We get really tunnel vision. We just sometimes need that checklist to just make sure we have all the pieces, because in our head, all the pieces are there. But when we're public facing, we're not, they can't necessarily see our brains and see all the pieces. So we have to make sure that we're sharing everything that's in our head, right? So our next episode was algorithm to grow. This is one of my favorite ones, because this is really getting into how the algorithm works, which we get into more in depth later. But I really enjoyed this whole process of sharing this information with you guys, because this is information that comes super naturally to me. Like my brain just like soaks it up because it's so excited about it. And I know through the course of watching me this last 6 months, I've been extremely excited, and now I'm more comfortable in myself and how I present. So I've grown a lot in this process too. So thank you for that as well. All right, setting up for success when you're building your social media and you want to be successful. We always recommend making a Word template or a document template of all of the information, so that you have it copied and put it in all the places, your website, your different social medias. Anytime you're doing contact stuff, you're like, all the same information has to be used over and over again. So if you just have it in a template, format, you can just copy and paste it from there. You don't have to rethink of what's my business address, what is the public business address, what can I put out. You can do all of those things. All right. Growing and engaging, especially in groups, really awesome episode. And then features in groups. These were really good episodes to dig in more on interacting in groups, so that you can build your presence and your know, like, and trust in these different groups. Then we did a little switch up, right? Because LinkedIn was the big one this year. We're seeing a lot of growth now that we're engaging over there and doing a lot better from LinkedIn. So I hope that you are too. And so this was how do we mindfully show up on LinkedIn? Because I think we get in our heads about the different social media platforms and how we're allowed, I'm going to air quote that, allowed to show up on the different platforms. So just really being authentically you and not being in your head about it. Other ways to stay connected. So at the end of the quarter, first quarter, we started to bring you some things that were a little more like, how can you enhance your social media presence, and other ways to stay connected. And then the next episode, making social media interactions useful, and how to get AI to talk in your voice. These are tool episodes, like how do you get the other tools to work with you. And I really love that Charlie taught us about AI. I know we've learned a lot about AI and talking in our own voice from Karen Ray as well, just really keeping it simple and asking AI to talk in our own voices, and how we put the information in there and how we use that when it comes back out. Then we started this quarter, our second quarter, we started to really focus in on different sections of social media. It was super amazing to see the growth here. So LinkedIn, it's for business to business, but how many of us are actually using it in that way, in an efficient way? And so this was really great information. I learned a lot in April, and we've been applying that and just seeing the continued growth because we're doing that. We started posting our blogs over on LinkedIn as, what do they call that? Published
newsletters,
articles. Yeah. You're right. A publication, I think, is what the word is on the thing. You right to be published or something. And I think I was always afraid of what I would be published for, and it seems super fancy, but it's really not. And it's very simple and fun, and it's a great way to increase our knowledge in a public way. So showing the public that we have this knowledge in that way, and so it builds that trust of what we know, and then the consistency of continuing to post things. So we talk a lot about DMO, and we have DMO for each platform. Pardon me. We have one for Facebook, one for Instagram, and one for LinkedIn. So we definitely covered all of those in this quarter. And DMO stands for daily method of operation, because it needs to be a tool. We don't want social media to be overwhelming, and that's probably our biggest message is set a timer, don't get overwhelmed, and just do a little bit every day, because it's the consistency for the long game that's going to benefit your business the most. So just doing every day the simple interactions, and then the next day do it again, and eventually they become habits. So when you pick up your phone, you're no longer going into scroll land, you're going into, I'm going to use this as a tool land. And that is a great place to be, because by then you have curated your feed page to be what fills your heart, and you're interacting with people that are going to make you feel uplifted, and you're not going to have the negative stuff and the things that you don't like showing up in your feed. And if you are, I want you to message me, because I want to talk to you about what you can do. Crap, I'm just going to tell you right now. Okay, so if you do have one of those feeds and you're like, I don't like this, I don't like that, I want you to look at a real hard look at who these people are that are posting these things that you don't want to look at. Are these people you don't need to have on your feed that you could actually delete? I know I said the word. You can delete people. It's okay. Now, I'm not saying you delete your grandma. What I'm saying is you hide your grandma so you don't see her stuff, okay? So there's a couple levels there, right? So if grandma's just like political and you cannot get her to stop, I don't know, not my grandma, but I'm making this up literally. So for example, if you have somebody that's super political and you're not, you can actually hide their posts so that you don't see them in your feed. And then you can still go check on them and make sure that they're okay and alive when you are ready for their influence in your life. This is a way to take control of your mindset as well. So my feed is very positive, uplifting. It is like empowering. I get quotes from my friends. I get like really powerful, like introspective, look deeper into your soul type of a post, because that's the kind of content I enjoy. So I love and write on that. And then the algorithm actually gives you more of that kind of content. So it's really exciting. All right. I digress. Where were we? So LinkedIn. So we talked about business to business. We talked about crafting your winning page, because it was surprising how if you just don't fill out one box, how much that detriments your reach on LinkedIn. And then the DMO, which is the daily method of operations. And then of course, business to business, social media. Hello. And then we went over to Instagram, which was super fun, because after LinkedIn was kind of stressful, Instagram was like playland, right? So we went over the basics of Instagram. We just said hello to it, and then how to, oh, it looks like, did I spell it wrong? Now my brain's like checking spelling. Okay, back to focus. And take a sip of coffee. So we worked through Instagram and things that you need to know on Instagram as a business. We also talked about Instagram Reels, which is super awesome. And creating them, and then using stories. That was such a fun episode to record. I really like it when we can get the document camera out and play. It just is fun for me. In sharing these things with you all is really fun for me. Then here in June, we've moved into some Facebook land. And then last week we did the daily method of operation expanded. And this episode from last week is dropping on YouTube today. I highly recommend watching it. We talk about how how the daily method of operation helps you build community and helps your algorithm. And we talk about each step and how each step affects your community involvement and each step affects your algorithm. So we really give you the nitty gritty of why you do the daily method of operation. All right. So we did it. We did it. There were no questions from anybody. We do have access to our reels in Canva. So if you were interested in that, just let us know. Drop us a line. We'll hook you up. Looks like I didn't make it into the edit here. All right. If you do need any help with any of this is literally our jam. We absolutely love doing social media. And I really want to say thank you to everybody for joining us and being part of Social Media Wednesdays. And I hope you will stay tuned for next quarter, because we're going to be doing some really, really fun stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and stop screen share so you can see us.
Hi.
We are still recording.
We are still
So,
recording for a minute. Updates. What are we doing next quarter?
So our memberships will be moving on to a platform that we're created with our new business partner, John. And so we are going to be moving into digital Discovery Wednesdays. So it won't just be social media, it will be anything techie, anything that's going to help us grow our businesses. And we are letting John lead that. So we're really, really excited to be able to pick his brain in such a fun way.
I think he's really excited too. He has a high-tech, high-touch newsletter that is going to be kind of integrated with Digital Discovery Wednesdays, and that's all going to be part of the membership. And I'm really excited for you guys to learn more with John. So exciting.
We get to nerd out, you get to nerd out. You get to learn from the nerds. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us, and we've loved this journey. Namaste.
The Marysville Police Foundation is a 501c3 organization to support these areas of the Marysville Police Department: law enforcement, officer wellness, and the community outreach programs and activities. We look forward to serving you.
We take the mystery and pain out of social media consistency for your business, giving you back time to shine in your zone of genius. Social media is the new branding. It deserves its own attention, thought, and effort. Yet so few businesses actually take this seriously and invest enough time on their strategy. We can do it for you at an affordable rate that will fit into your budget and allow you to pursue other revenue channels as well. The hardest part of social media management is keeping up the consistency to be seen and know what to post, when to post. Are you ready to have everything ready to go for you, saving you time and energy by not having to do it all yourself? Still getting your message out so that people get to know you, like you, and develop trust while opening yourself up to more time for the business of your business where you shine. Working with Women in Leadership, BSMB LLP, is a unique experience that bridges the gap from face-to-face to virtual relationship marketing. Not only do we love to help you shine on social media, we love to share tools to help you grow with us, body, soul, mind, and business. Check out our podcast and YouTube channel for Mindset Mondays, social media training Wednesdays, business interviews and special topics on Fridays, and weekly readings on Sundays. To schedule your consultation or podcast interview, head to our website, www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com. Our weekly readings on Sunday, our podcast Mindset Monday, social media training with Heather on Wednesdays with a live Q&A, guest interviews, and special topics on Fridays. Thank you for joining us. Find out more and schedule with us online at www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com, where you have a spot at the table.